This is the Ponderous Brick Thinker with a castle update, and the update is onwards to the other side and finish completing the rock walls for the mountain. After working on the other sides, hopefully this side will be much easier, and also the other sides, and just using all the lessons learned, hopefully there will be no more hiccups and experiments. So I'm going to use the round plates, two of them, and put them there first, because what I did for this side, doing half and then doing half and then trying to put them together, it was actually hard because it was a lot of counting of the bricks and plates because they're on different levels, and trying to find the most common and then make a structure there. So right off I'm going to start a foundation for the rock sketch that I did earlier to be put on, and then I'll go from there. First order of business is to rearrange the sketch here. The other two sides had sharp peaks, so I'm thinking of removing this just so that it has its own character, so it's going to be a little bit more rounder, even though I had these kind of steep parts of it. But that way it will be different from the other sides. It does also imply that there's going to be a lot of brown, and hopefully I'm going to have enough. But since this is technically the back side, I might be able to, if needed, raise up the plates and then use those browns in the other parts of the castle. The reason being, a single plate covers a lot more territory than stacking bricks. And so that's one of the primary reasons why I'm using rock faces like this in order to kind of cover up all of the structure of the castle. And the other thing is to make this straight edge so that it can match up to this plate. And if you look closely over here, it is going to be a rather steep incline. I'm going to keep it that way, so that way of all the areas, this is going to be the steepest part. And I'm looking forward to see how that will look. If this kind of method will work in that situation, or it might work better than the other ones where I kind of have layers of bricks and plates kind of going out in that direction. The other thing is I'm probably going to keep it that way, but looking at this edge of the green plate, it's actually one stud away from the base. I'm going to keep it that way. It's going to be a challenge, even though it's not too much of a challenge. So the steepness is going to have to be up to here-ish, pretty much where the nougat brick is, and then 3 plates width touch that. I might have to push it out a little bit more, but we'll see. Right now, this is the face I'm going to be working on. Here's the progress so far. The sketch is becoming part of the mountainside. Here's the support. And those sharp wedges that were on top, I'm going to probably place them down further just to try and keep it the dynamic look. I'm definitely going to add another color here. It's a little too dark black here, but everything else is coming along. I do want to refresh a bit of what I discovered last episode. There are 7 plates between this surface and what would cover this surface right here, but I just wanted to point out it's these 2 plus the 3rd, 4th, and then the 3 that are in the brick. So here are the 7 from this wall to this plate right here to touch the face of this brick here. In other words, I can have this here, which is 2, and it will be 5 plates, and it will be in that situation. And that's not my current situation, but if I use these, then I can count on it to be flush. The height is another issue, but since I'm using the green plates that are not the plates, they're the bases, they're much thinner, and so they follow different rules as to what would be the surface and all that. But that is where I am right now. I am currently in between a step. I'm still finalizing how the face of the mountain is going to look like. But I just want to point out that I have these parts broken out, and I'm able to sculpt and find where I want the colors to be. Because in the other one, it was I would finalize and that would be it. I would be committed to the cause because it's now that brick and or that plate is part of the structure. And in order to change it, I'll have to change the structure. But having this one loose still lets me play around with it. I'm able to add more plates, more designs to it, be more purposeful, and then also find out where I am repeating myself. Especially these two right here are right next to each other. So that will be changing. I'll probably be using one of the peak pieces and put it there, probably introduce some gray, because I have these pieces. I didn't realize it till late last episode, so they'll be making a round here, and I still have time to put them in the front and the other side, but maybe have some gray there instead of that white piece. So I like that line, so that's staying. That one's going to be changing out. Oh, and then also a note of what I have in reserves. I have these pieces. They're meant for something else, obviously. This cannot be part of the mountain and look natural. So these are going to be hidden. These will be also hidden. They're going to be part of the support. Since I have jagged straight lines as the rough mountain, having curves would, distract from that theme. And so they're going to be support in the background, filling the gaps. Ta-da! It's finished. The side is completely sealed. All the nooks and crevices are filled. So this one's ready to go. And of the three done so far, I like this one the best. It has some dynamic character to it. You have the black and then some of the finer detail here. Then you have a chunk of white going in this direction. I'm probably will go back and add more details here and there, but overall I like how it looks. Now for a little recap, and I am starting to feel the weight of it with just a lot of plates and Lego pieces attached to the base. And now it's this side's turn, and just for a little how it looks inside, nothing much. Okay. So now I'm going to just start with the support, and that really did work well. So support first, and then the outline, and then do the bases coming out from the back. So I was operating under the theory that this side came out with no snags or issues. Well, that's not the case. As you can see, the team members are investigating the situation and assessing what could be done with issues. You might be able to see it from this angle, but this side and then that. There we go. This is supposed to be on the outside of this. I made this completely the same level of depth when it should have been a little bit different because these platforms are one stud apart. So this should have been outward a little bit. I'm going to leave it like that because this is the steepest side, especially this side, to have the inverted slopes come out still in the browns and then build up. It will be that situation where it's the protruding tower or the protruding building from the cliffside. So I am going to continue the browns, basically one layer here, one stud thick layer here, just enough to cover the structure. And maybe on this side too, and then when it protrudes, it will match this side because it is 2 studs deep, and it'll be able to do like normal. The other issue is that this one is not supposed to be there. I guess I don't know what I was thinking. I should have reviewed the videos of when I did the sketches to say this is where it goes. But really, this goes over here. And this is what I originally sketched for the I guess it's the front side. And move this aside and rotate that much. So it's going to be a lot of browns actually. The rest of the angles of, let's say, this kind and the wedges, they're kind of reserved for the other bases, so I don't want to take away from them and build this up. What I am going to do is keep this here because it's going to be revised anyways. But I'm probably going to take this off, this piece right here. That way it follows this dynamic line and it kind of follows the stairs back here. And so that way I have this kind of shape here. And I'm probably use this on this side because I'm going to need to build up a lot. And that's why I started gathering all the grays, what I think I'm going to need. I made, when I started with the Lego project, I made bleachers for the minifigs. I noticed that they had these 2x8s that they were sitting on. Not anymore. Have the rest in the bucket ready to go. Also, confession, I haven't sorted the Cozy House pieces back into the general mix. So I still need to rate those pieces and get some of the grays and blacks and whites and see what I can do. And they had these, I forgot that they had these, what are they? 1x10s? No, 1x12s. They'll go perfect here. And some more pieces. Also for the bleachers, they had some of these pieces. So not the last, they'll probably be used to help support the browns. But yeah, so yeah, I'm scrounging, see what else I can find to kind of build this up. One of the other reasons why I don't want to use this here is that it does go into general direction I do want it to go, but it's I really like how the other side looks with this. So yep, this is staying over here, and this one's gonna go more in this direction. The other question is, I do have enough of these wedges, luckily, to make a really steep angle and to highlight in some fashion like that, the very steep side. So it will be black here, and then the browns will be here, and then protrude outward and build up. So something like that. So I have these pieces and a few more. It should come together. So the next step is to make the sketch, and it'll be the silhouette all along one plane. See where the colors are going to go. What are what could be the depths. So that way I can be at least prepared for that, because I need to remind myself this is further out and this is further in. And that way it doesn't happen again, hopefully. But let's roll with it. I combine the sketch and the design step to move things along. Ignore all these bricks down here. They're just temporarily holding up the plates. But here is where I have the plates right now. It's hard for me to do a before and after because the camera is going to be moving or be moved out of the way while I work on the model. So it's so here's the before. It's going to be the steepest part. It's going to be basically touching the browns. This is going to be slightly recessed. The white here is going to be the most recessed. It's the colors are all going to change, but still that's where the intent is. And this is going to be a little bit out from that recess, and then this is going to finish off here. So this is going to be the deepest part, and it's going to have two protrusions, and this corner is going to be looking like that. And I'm kind of glad that it looks different from the others, so that each corner has its own character. I placed the browns here temporarily to make sure that the plates are going to be touching. Okay. So my next step is to fill in the gaps and probably first, secure the outer line and then move in from there. But so far, it's using these temporary things helps me plan and move things along. I can double check with the depth, making sure they're there. So for this kind of work, that's what I recommend. Again, if I had Technic pieces and long bricks that are apparently rare, I'll be using those in the future. And as far as I know, there are no like creative or classic sets of Technic that they just have a bucket full of them. So I'll probably be getting more Technic sets just so that I can have those pieces handy for projects like this. Voila! The rock face on this side is complete. It has the shape that I wanted, the outline, the way that it protrudes out is okay. Maybe if I was more confident with the number of bricks that I have, I might protrude it out a little bit more. But right now I'm kind of being conservative to just try and get the shape that I want. So this is how it looks with both sides. Now the next step will be to edit the first side that I did, but that will be in another episode. But let me do a turnaround so that you can see how it looks all together. Also in another episode, the finishing of the browns. I do need to see if this is the way to go, in which have a lot of hints of color, or if I can do bigger blocks and have just bigger splashes of color. There might be a few details added, especially like here, but I kind of like how you have this and then finer detail going upward. I do feel like I'm getting the hang of it in terms of sculpting with Lego bricks and plates to kind of suggest a general shape. I did not do this kind of work when I was younger. I don't know if I would have attempted it, but since I have the plates and bricks and some experience with sculpting, that maybe this is the way to go, at least for this kind of project. Alright, so this has been the Ponderous Brick Thinker with a castle update. Hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned something. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked the episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see how this project turns out, go ahead and subscribe. And together we'll find out what the overall result is. Alright, see you next time.